Hello, hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
Oh, sorry. I was not the deepest voice on this opening this time. You're listening to, is this episode 10?
I think it is.
I think this is episode 10 of A Little Bit Unhinged. Casey's here.
Hello, again.
I like it. That one might stick. I feel really good about that one. Mm-hmm. I feel really good about that. Matter of fact, I might get some Casey's Here merch printed.
Yeah.
Like a Casey's Here shit. Actually, that's cool as shit. Okay. That really distracted me about whatever the hell was going on here.
Got excited about all the things you can buy.
I was really excited about the Casey's Here mug. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. We get some mascots on it. Welcome back to another fine episode. This is the gaming episode.
Whoop, whoop.
Y'all are going to be really interested in this one because I've already got Casey pre-fired up.
I'm so angry already.
She's pre-ready to go. With some good talking points about stuff we're playing. So we're kind of talking about stuff we've been playing recently in the last little bit. Kind of the stuff we're playing. Let's talk about what you're playing right now because you're very excited about it.
Okay, yeah, I'm playing Burning Shores, which is the DLC for Horizon Forbidden West. I just started a few days ago. I'm like 10 or 15 hours in, though. I've put a good bit of hours in already. Love it. It's great. It's been a while since I played Horizon Zero Dawn as well as Forbidden West, so it's good to go back to and remember that I really do love these games a lot.
Yeah, my friend Melissa, she's a big fan, so I'm going to make her tell me about it too, because I always do. She also like has the Legos and stuff like you do, just loves it. So
she's got the tall neck?
Yeah.
I
haven't talked to her about the DLC yet, but I'm pretty confident that she's platinumed them too. She just ate them up the moment they came out. So I'm very excited. So far so good with it. But that brings up a topic that we were talking about, which was just the general nature of the discussion around this game.
Yeah, there has been some unnecessary criticisms that I think are not very objective, I guess is the polite way to say it.
Yeah, I think that's right.
The impolite way is that men suck and they just want to be judgmental assholes.
Yeah, especially gamer men. It's just what it is, sadly.
Yeah, because there's definitely criticisms that can be made for the game.
Of course.
I know that there is some cheesy dialogue in it, and there are things that I even complain about where there's not some of the smoothest mechanics with the climbing and things where she should be able to grab stuff. Or I'm trying to think, sometimes some cutscenes you'll run into something, but if you keep moving, another cutscene will start playing on top of it.
Right.
Or not cutscene, but the dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
So there are easily criticisms for the game, but then a lot of things are just people being like, well, Aloy sucks, and, she's just not a very good character. She doesn't have a lot of depth.
Yeah.
Or people complaining about, it doesn't look that good as far as games go, and, it's truly a beautiful game, and the designs for her and the different people within the game, because they have several different tribes and cultures within it, as well as the machines themselves that they have.
Which I think the machines' designs are just super cool.
Yeah, they're out of this world.
Just
some of
cool.
the thought behind them and the weak spots and stuff.
Yep.
It's a very well done game.
Yeah. And I know the people that love it. It's not one of those games that just kind of is there, which kind of leads to the point. There's a bunch of games that people love that are just there. You know what I mean? Listen, I like me in a good Assassin's Creed game, but let's not try to pretend like it's not weird as hell. Just everything that surrounds it. You like it because you like jumping off of rooftops and stuff. You're not cooked into the lore, because the lore fades away pretty quickly in those games.
And it's, again, which I haven't played all of the Assassin's Creed. I've only got a little bit of knowledge, but they don't have a lot of dialogue, because a lot of what I've seen for criticisms for Aloy or a lot of other female characters is that they don't talk enough, or what they do say is just kind of like very mid and meh.
Right.
But Ezio and Altair, they didn't say that much.
Right. Yeah.
Link doesn't say that much. Cloud didn't say that much.
No. Cloud was a good one. We were talking about Cloud there, because the ideal point of Cloud. Now, I'm gonna just say this. I saved this. I didn't say this to you beforehand, so we could say it now. I think Cloud is the reason why I didn't love Final Fantasy VII. Like, Cloud is ultimately why I didn't want to stick with it. I could not give a shit about what happened to this pointy-haired weirdo.
In the original or remake?
In the original.
Oh, okay.
In the original. Like, I was just like, you know what? Just, if you remade this game and made it a Barrett game, I'm all in. Yeah. And you know what? I'm like, you know what? That might be a little racist to me. I don't care. Like,
Barrett does have a personality.
Like, I'm all in. Like, give me that guy. I'm all in. But the positive about Cloud is that, you said it really well, he's an everyman. Mm-hmm. And so when the story hits... I don't
think I've actually said that on the podcast yet, though. That was before we started recording.
Oh, yes, that's right. Pretend that you heard her say that before I just said that she said it.
Well, I can make the point again that
do it.
A lot of these characters that don't really speak that much are kind of the everyman character, where you can just put your own personality onto them and kind of get yourself into the game more.
Yep. Which is a tactic you do in films, you do it in games, to just have connection with the audience. Because I found the plot, and listen, it's been a long time since I played the original one. I have it on the PS5, and I started it again, and I was like, oh, I might get into this. And then I thought about managing materia, and I said, nah, I might be out. I might be out for a while. But because, for whatever reason, to a certain point, like I probably played till you had to fight the dude in the tower. Gojo? Does that sound right? Anyway, the Shinra guy in the
Rufus?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, fight them in town. Like, I probably played till that point, and then everything started just getting a little too weird for me. And I was just like, this doesn't connect with me, and I don't give a shit about Cloud, and so it didn't work. It probably works really well.
Yeah, so you didn't get out of Midgar then?
No. Now, much late, like, I guess when I got the PS, like, I did the Gold Saucer stuff a little bit later, but I didn't get super far in it, because I just didn't care.
So you didn't even see the scene that wrecked me the most out of that game?
Not playing, no.
Man.
No, not playing. I've since seen everything, but
sure,
not from
but
playing.
It's still, you didn't actually get to experience that.
I did not get to experience it. No.
Okay.
I didn't live the life of it. It just never got me. For whatever reason, like, Final Fantasy 3, that's the one with the wrestler that could slam a train and the shadow, and is that 3, 4, 3, 6? The numbering is always so weird.
It's not 4, because that's Cecil's story. I can't remember for certain.
Yeah, anyway, that one is my favorite one. That one got me. I loved all the characters. I still remember fondly the first time I heard there's a scene with an opera, which even on the Super Nintendo sounded really cool for whatever reason. And I remember the ghost train when you die and you have to come back. Anyway, for whatever reason, Final Fantasy VII, like, I still was marveled by Final Fantasy VII, because technologically it was a marvel. Like, I remember we got the magazine and it had the full map of the city from up high, and that beautiful. Anyway, the point is that there's so many male superhero character, or, protagonists in games that aren't that interesting, like the one that kind of almost made games popular, Doom Guy, until the late ones where they gave him a little tiny bit of personality, to like the modern ones. This was Doom Guy, and nobody cared.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Duke Nukem came from wanting that person to have some personality, but you didn't have to have it. I played Hexen all the time, I didn't care that I didn't have a voice. I could see my hand. I could see my axe. We're good.
Yeah. Well, Samus, you didn't even know that she was a woman in the first game.
I didn't even know she was a woman. I didn't know she was a woman until long after.
Yeah, and actually, the very first booklet for NES...
We looked at it.
Yeah, and I don't remember if we actually mentioned it on the podcast or not, but the booklet for the NES version of Metroid, the very first game, says he all throughout it. Yep. Because that's like this... the very end of the game is to find out that, this bounty hunter is actually a woman.
Yeah, and you only find it out if you beat it at a certain speed. If you
right,
beat it so quickly. Which I didn't know anybody that beat it so quickly. I didn't find out until, it was probably Nintendo Power Magazine or something, gave you a code or something that let you do it later, but...
I think I knew in Super Metroid, because when she dies, she does the hair flip.
Yes, you're right.
So you can tell that... But it's only if you're like actually paying attention when you die. And I just happened to suck that much when I was a kid that I saw her death a lot. And I was like, well, gee golly, that looks like a girl.
And you weren't alive when Metroid happened, but I was living it in real time. So I had to live all the way till Super Metroid. I had to live that whole time period without knowing.
Yeah.
And there's no internet to find out. So if it didn't say in Nintendo Power Magazine or my friend didn't tell me, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't on GeoCities or AOL searching that stuff. We were trying to cyber chat, so whatever. So yeah, like, you know, I was talking about Yahtzee Crenshaw from what was Zero Punctuation, now Fully Ramblematic, and I like, he's an entertaining journalist, but he also, earlier in his career, just was, and he still does it now sometimes, where he's just like, yeah, Aloy, it's just so bland and boring. And it's like, listen, if you liked the mechanics around the game, you wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter to you. It only matters because it's just another thing to throw on the I didn't like the game pile. And then for some of these people that we're talking about, they probably, if we remade that game in a different skin and it was Master Chief, they'd be all about it. The same game. You know?
And Master Chief is another example of an everyman because sure, he talks, but he really doesn't say a lot. He doesn't show a lot of personality.
They give him personality later, but early,
it's not much to him.
No.
And I think that's where men can say, I can see myself in this role.
Yep.
Whereas when they know that it's a woman that's a protagonist, they're like, I don't really get it. Yeah. She doesn't seem like she would be smart enough to do this.
She needs to entertain me now. She needs to be better than that because she's not me.
Yeah.
And I, in this position, would be the greatest hero of all time or whatever, you know. And listen, I'm going to say this now because I need to establish my valor. I am a fem-shep player. I am female shepherd all day, 100%. I only play female shepherd, so I am not that guy. Okay, I'm all about it. I just wanted to establish that.
I believe you.
I mean, it's true. But I am, this is something I absolutely shouldn't say on this podcast, but you gave me Coors Light.
The most watered down beer besides Bud Light.
I am of the school that if I'm going to look at the backside of a character for hours, I should enjoy it. Like, I just should enjoy it, right? Yeah. If I got to look at my own character for a bunch of times, then I would like it to be something that I would like to look at a bunch of times. You know, if that's an option, generally I take it.
And see, I'm of the opinion that if I can make it a girl character and make it look like me and actually feel like a character that I can see myself reflected in, I will do that.
Sure.
And so I see the appeal of that, which most men get the benefit of automatically.
Sure. Yeah. And something that I didn't have the benefit of very much.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so I was about to say that too.
I very regularly didn't get to play a character that looked like me, so I was just playing a character.
And you still don't have that many because
I don't have that many.
Barrett was still just a side character.
Yep.
You did have TJ Combo.
Did have TJ Combo. Yes.
But there's still that's a field that's still lacking.
Yeah,
then even more so, other demographics are also very lacking still.
Yeah, and so me and my group of friends, I have a kind of a group of military friends. I think I've mentioned them on the podcast around Irv and stuff. We sit down and look. We play Square games because Square games are good. Squaresoft games are good in a general sense. But we know, we're just like, look, Square is racist because you can name like 5 black characters that they have over all of these series of games, that they could have more.
Yeah.
You know. And it's some of the nature of Japanese games, you know, like just Japanese developers are just not going to do that, which I don't.
Sure.
I try to walk a very careful line because on the one hand, Japanese developers, you know what I mean? Like, but they still seem to find ways to get white women in there, which Japanese developers is a thing too. But,
yeah,
you know.
But that's a point too, because like, sometimes for anime and stuff, because they have the big eyes, people will picture it as a white character, but they actually are supposed to be an Asian character.
Right.
And that can be true for games as well, because they still give them bigger eyes.
Sure.
Unrealistic eyes. They're not human necessarily. They're not photorealistic. But you still will associate them as a white person. But maybe they were intended to be some other demographic that's, well, pale skin still. But
and I think that they know that they can get away with, if we do that with blonde hair, we can say what we want and just be like, hey, we just did big eyes for this style, and know that a lot of people are just going to be like, oh, it's not a Japanese person. The game that comes to my head right away when I think about what games are is, the Metal Gear. I can never remember which number it is, but the Metal Gear where you get Quiet. Quiet is the non-speaking Russian woman who, she has a skin. She can teleport. She can go invisible and she can teleport. She's a sniper. And
Coors Light really hit you.
It did. It's getting me. And she wears very flimsy clothing, and the in-story reason is because she's got like a skin issue, so she can't have her skin covered. And she's just super sexualized and super like all of that. And this is the thing, Metal Gear's weird anyway, so I try to take it all with a grain of salt. But that stuff happens all the time, and will get less criticism than like just Lara Croft in the newer Lara Croft games or whatever. Yeah. Like that'll get less criticism than the games that are more female story driven, that have a story that female gamers might enjoy more. Yeah. Will just get more hate than a game that has females in there for the wrong reason all the time.
Yeah.
You know, which is unfortunate because it's such a storytelling medium. It's just like, there is no reason that there couldn't be a mother-daughter driven God of War type story. And there's never been one. And I don't know that I'll ever see one. And that's really unfortunate because there's no reason. The motivations can be done. All of that stuff can be done. It just hasn't been.
Yeah, that's a good point because, people don't really think about the fact that is a father-son relationship. And if they tried to do mother-daughter, mother-son, any kind of mother relationship in a video game, besides the main character's mother, it would just face so much hate.
And when it's done in a game, usually the mother and son are the bad guys. Like in the new like in the first of the God of Wars, the basically she becomes a part of the family. But spoilers here. It's been out forever. If you haven't played it, screw you. But the I can't remember any names, and I'm not going to. But basically one of the main bad guys that's from the North pantheon, he's like trying to kill everybody, and he's trying to kill his mother, but she still loves him. And I think she killed her dad or something, so he's got a reason to be mad at her. But he's trying to kill her, and Kratos kills him to keep him from killing her. And she's so mad at him. She's like, a pox on you. You killed my boy. He should have killed me. So she's like the villain for the first half of the game, and then she gets over it and they become really close, and even that story arc is not bad, but you see way more of that mother is the bad guy than you see mother is the very few times in games do you see mother is the positive, helpful influence.
Yeah.
But even if it is, it's almost in like a Bechdel test way, where it's like she had to die to motivate the male character. Like, excuse me, it can't just be, here's just a woman character that has an arc that doesn't have to be motivated by anything else that's happening underneath. It just doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
You know? Now, that being said, I believe in the new Zelda game they showed, Zelda has got table magic. She can throw tables at people. Mm-hmm. So she's got that going for her.
Yeah. But again, she can't, from what I've seen, she has to just use objects to fight for her. She can't even do her own fighting.
Yeah, I was really kind of being facetious. It does look like she kind of got screwed in that.
I think it'll still be a good game. It'll still be a fun game. They can play it off. She's a princess. She's supposed to be, and they have established that she's magic.
Right. She
has magic in some of the previous games and stuff, and you know, who knows where this one's going to fit in the chronology anyway. But it's fine. But it's also, why can't she pick up a sword and do some fighting herself, or have a more direct way to fight?
Yeah. Could you imagine? We haven't discussed this either. As it's going through my brain, I realize that this is going to be an interesting thing I'm about to say. But could you imagine if there wasn't Link at all in Ocarina of Time, and it's just Sheik, and Zelda doing the whole thing that Link did instead?
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, because that was certainly possible. Sheik had all of the. I mean, Sheik showed off the grappling. She could do it all. Yeah. She could do all of that.
And Impa could have trained her to do all of that.
Heck yeah. Like, I mean, obviously you have to change the elf village part a little bit or whatever, but you could have made that Zelda and Sheik and then made that happen. Yeah. And you didn't even have to. There wouldn't need to be a surprise. It could be like, hey, this is her being the princess, but to save it and trick Ganon, this is also what she had to do.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And that would have been awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool. Although as a Zelda girly, I'm still like, no, I can't. I need Link. I love Link.
I know. And like, you miss out on that final shot when you beat the game of them
running into each other.
You miss
again.
that.
Yeah.
You know I mean, you wouldn't have to miss it. I guess you could change the story around to make that happen. But Link.
It is a very good point.
Yeah, Link could have easily been on the other side of it. You know what I mean? Link could have just been the drop-in hero that did this and that and helped. Like, there's no reason. Link could have just been like the hero of the past or what, because they've already established the time travel and he's been here and he's done that and he's done all this bullshit. You could have done something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been cool. But you don't see that enough. But you also, I think, kind of to the point of where we were at with it, maybe one of the reasons you don't see it is that you just realize that there's a part of your audience that's just going to be nasty about it.
Yeah. That's true.
It's disappointing. Anyway, I'm glad we talked about that, though, because maybe one day when this gets into the Podcast Hall of Fame, it'll change someone's life. I am playing, so we talked about that. So we talked about Cloud, but we didn't specifically talk about your experience with Rebirth and Remake.
Mm-hmm.
So we should talk about that, because you just fairly recently beat Rebirth.
Yep, I did. 2-3 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah.
It's been a little bit. And it was a very good game. I enjoyed it a lot. I did not enjoy the final fight. I think that the difficulty spike on the final battle was a little bit uncalled for, because you just...
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say uncalled for. I'm sure there are a lot of people who really enjoyed it and figured it out.
Yeah, but I've seen a lot of people that said it was uncalled for.
Yeah, it was... there's just a scene or a final move that obliterates you.
Yeah.
And I could not figure out how to get past that. I ended up having to turn down the difficulty. But outside of that, I really enjoyed the game. I thought it was very well done. I enjoyed it more than Remake. Mm-hmm. Remake was also very well done. But there were things about it that I didn't enjoy, so going back to Cloud being the everyman.
Yeah.
He did not really have much of a personality. You know, in the first game, we've already said in this episode, he didn't really have much personality in the original anyway, but you're just reading font. There's not really much to...
No voice acting. You got to get to do what you want.
Yeah, and he did have a voice actor in Remake, and nothing against the voice actor. He was fine.
No,
I think
he did what he was asked.
Right. So this is no slight against that person, but Cloud was just kind of bland. He did not have much of a personality. He was very standoffish.
He's just kind of a dick, bland and a dick.
Yeah, and he had some asshole statements in it that I just didn't enjoy, but for Rebirth, they did give him more personality. He's still like a white bread, but he's got personality. He makes some jokes. Like, he actually interacts with the other characters more so, and it also was more of an open world feel where you can kind of explore a little bit more and do more things. There's more side quest options and things to do, which, again, I love open world games. I'm just not over them, even though they've been around forever. I love them, still gonna love them, so I really enjoyed Rebirth a lot.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. I wish I loved that game more.
Yeah.
Because I played the demo for Remake, and when I got to the combat, I was like, oh, there's no way in hell. Like, the only thing that got me playing, the only thing that gets me back to Final Fantasy VII at all is turn-based. Is the turn-based combat, because I really like when
but it was like, what was it called?
Active time. But you can. But here's the thing: I even turned off the active time because you could turn that off too. Like, I went pure turn-based.
I never knew that you could do that.
Yeah, you can turn that off. But now I wouldn't turn that off. I like that enough. I like that where it's like you have to make some decisions, but it's not like combat. Like I like combating game. Like a game I was going to talk about that I've been playing is called Zao, which is really cool. It's a Metroidvania where it's very African. It's very African. There's lots of tribal stuff and African colors and designs. There's these different masks, and you work with the god of death in this religion, and you got to do some backtracking. You pick up some abilities, and you switch between these masks, and one's like melee, and one is ranged, and so you can like juggle and switch back and forth, and you get these different abilities. Even though it's already starting to get almost too advanced, because it's not like Metroid in that you have an ability that you need to solve a problem. In this, it's like there's one combat where it's like, okay, you've got one mask is red, the melee mask is red, and the ranged mask is green. It's like if you've played Guacamelee, which is another game I very much like, but some of the enemies can only be damaged by one of the masks. And so then they put you in this challenge room where you have like one of different types of enemies that can be damaged by the masks. And they're all attacking you at the same time, but they all can't be hurt by these attacks. And so I enjoyed the game a lot, but I got to those challenge rooms and I had to play them a bunch of times in a row because I couldn't get those switched right and juggle the right enemies, and then the enemy I couldn't hit would hit me. But it's beautiful and it's funny and it's got a lot of voice acting and it's amusing, and I've enjoyed it, and I'll be streaming it some more. That was my first stream back on Twitch in forever. I haven't streamed on Twitch in like a year. So I'm going to stream that more on Twitch. And if you guys go to the Facebook page for A Little Bit Unhinged, you'll be able to see when I'm streaming on there, because I'll start posting it on there. Just FYI. But I've enjoyed it. I enjoy games like that because I enjoy the fast trigger. However, I also like some old school RPGs where I don't have to actively think. I can think about in the battle what the hell's going on. Like, okay, this bad guy do this, or this bad guy, I know I can use the steal ability and get this. I can level up a person. I can be like, I want to level up this ability instead of that ability. I don't mind to fight a bunch of bad guys for a while just to get my levels up and do that kind of stuff. Like, I like all that kind of stuff. So generally my games like that, I like to be that kind of style, like Dragon Warrior. And I just recently started replaying the Switch again. The other thing that I started replaying is Final Fantasy 1, because I never beat Final Fantasy 1. I'm starting to get back into fun. And on the Switch version, you can like bump up your XP. You can make your life a little easier, so I don't have to spend a lot of time grinding, so I can just play through the game and beat the game, which I like. So she's like, okay, I can get double XP for bad guys. So it just cuts the amount of fights I have to fight in half, stuff like that. Which is
that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it's nice. It's really nice. So I bought that whole set that has like 1 through 6, and I plan on beating them all.
Well, let me know how you do with 4 when you get to that one.
Yeah.
Because I have not finished that one, but I'm at the very final dungeon in it.
Right.
And it's not necessarily a difficulty spike. I might be under level, but it just, I tried not too long ago just to get through it again, and I'm still like just can't beat those random mobs that they've got because they're all boss level.
Yes, and it's those games. It's very easy to be under leveled. Like that's almost always the problem I found in the early Final Fantasies is they really want you to spend more extra time than you would normally leveling. So that's why I'm just like, that's fine. If I have a problem, I'll just bump up the XP multiplier, and then we'll just go back out and we'll deal with that. Like, I don't mind spending the extra time to mob hunt, but I'm also old, and I've done my time in the grinding mines. Yeah. So if I can get away from it and still kind of get through the game and progress, I'll do it. So I'm going to play through those, and then I'm playing Bloodstained, Something of the Night. It's made by the people that made Castlevania Symphony of the Night. They did a Kickstarter because Konami wasn't planning on making a new one, and so it's by that same team. So it's very Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It's super, like, you've got all these different types of weapons to choose from, and you've got special abilities, and then you unlock more abilities and double jump. And I'd played for like 2 hours a couple of weeks ago, and then the game crashed. And I lost 2 hours of progress, so I haven't turned it back on again. It makes me sad, but I'm really enjoying it. So eventually, I'll get back in there and get back through it,
and just save more often.
and I just have to, and I'm usually pretty good about saving, but you know how those games go. It's like, okay, I got a save spot. It's just like Metroid. I've got a save spot. Okay, now I'm doing a bunch of exploring, and so I don't know when the next save spot's going to be, and so it's like, well, should I go halfway and then go back? And I have these warp stones, so I could go so far and go back, but then there's like different. You teleport by jumping into these stained glass windows, but it's like far back, so I got to backtrack. I got to forward track, and so I'm just like, okay, there's got to be a save spot right around the corner. Hell, the save spot could have been in the room I was going into when the game crashed.
Yeah. And also, like, that's tough because sometimes you go back and Metroidvanias, they reload the monsters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
so
the
you
other
still
thing.
have to go back through and do all the same stuff again.
Yeah, in this game, the monsters reload when you leave the room. You go back in the room, the monsters reload. Yeah. So it's just, and room transitions, you got to fight the monsters again.
So it almost doesn't save you anything if you're trying to go back. You need to just keep pressing forward.
Yeah,
but
I could still die. Like I think the problem though is here I unlocked like a major go to the next set of stages abilities that I have to refight the boss to unlock. Like I lost a chunk of progress.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, but I really am enjoying it. And the fun thing about this one is that the character that you are, I should know her name and I don't, and that makes me a bad male gamer because I should know her damn name. It's right floating around my brain. But anyway, so she gets the top part that has defense or whatever, and then she has accessories. Well, you see them. Like when she changes her clothes, you see them. She's got a voice changer mask that changes her ability. It actually changes her voice when she does attacks. Like it goes from a regular voice to she's got some.
Do that again, one more time.
She's got shoes that let her do better. Like she's got some just kung fu damage, but she's got squeaky shoes, and they squeak when she runs.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Some of these things just give her different abilities, and they can mix the abilities. They can poison the bad guys. They can do all kinds of stuff. So it's really fun experimenting with like what kind of abilities do what. I just unlocked one that turns her into one of the bad guys. They have these, like the bunny cigarette girls. They have like just the bunny ears, and then they wear like the Playboy like bunny generic like showgirly outfit. It's just like the top and then the fishnets kind of thing. Yeah. Well, that's one of the bad guys, and so I unlocked a magic ability that changes me into them.
And now that's all you want to be? Because you want to be able to see something that you like.
Now listen, I'm not mad about it, but I went online, because normally I don't do this, but I went online and I'm like, why does this ability exist? And they're like, oh no, it's one of the strongest abilities in the game. If you level her up, she gets like a Chun-Li kicks, and they do multiplier of damage. And so it's like, yeah, endgame, if you want to just breeze through endgame, you just unlock the bunny girl and you just keep going up the bunny girl ability.
That makes sense.
All right, I guess I'm in my level. All right, here we go. But it's fun.
I would also be picking the bunny suit.
No, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
But this also is a very clear distinction between our two personalities and gaming styles, because you asked me, what am I playing right now? And I'm like, oh, the DLC for Forbidden West.
Yeah.
And you bring it up, and it's, I'm playing this and this and this and this and this.
And I haven't even talked about College Football 25, which is what I'm playing the most right now.
So many games. That would stress me out to have so many actively going at the same time.
You know, it should stress me out, and it doesn't. And that's why none of them get beaten. If it stressed me out, I might take it more seriously. But it's just the way I am. Like, I'll go through my Steam list about once every 3 weeks and be like, man, that's a game I haven't played in a while. And just install it and start playing it. Then I'll play it for a while, and then I'll just uninstall it, and I'll move on.
I can't imagine. Like, anytime that I play something, I want to know what's happening.
Yeah.
Or if it's a game that maybe I'm not that interested in the story, which happens more often than it should.
Sure.
And instead of stopping, I'm like, well, I just won't play it as often.
Right.
And I just take longer to beat it, and I'll end up spending more time watching TV or whatever on other nights.
The struggle that I have is that you're right. The problem that I have with it is when I go back to them,
the struggle that you have is that I'm right?
No. The struggle that I have is not that you're right. It's that you're right is exposed the struggle that I have, which is I also get lost when I haven't played them for a while in whatever the hell I was doing. And that often keeps me from finishing it, because then I have to catch back up again. But I can't help that my attention span just doesn't let me stick with games too much. You know, like I was playing the hell out of Ghost of Tsushima, and then I don't remember what happened, and then I haven't looked at it in a while. And I know I got to get back in it. I loved it. It's fantastic.
It's a beautiful game.
It's an amazing game. But I think I had to travel, I traveled too far or something, and I was like, I got to get back or something. And so then my brain went, well, no. It's what I do with Fallouts. Like, oh, you got to get to this part of the map, and I'm like, oh, I got to run across the map, and then I'll get halfway, and I'll be like, I'm bored, and then just shuts off, and then I don't think about the game for 3 months.
Oh man, I can explore forever.
Normally, the thing I feel like is I'm like, yeah, I can, but I can't. I like to explore, but my brain just goes, all right, we're bored. What's going on? You haven't. The other thing that a lot of people that listen to this that know me know, I usually play the bad guy. If I have a choice of doing bad things in a game, I will do them way more than I'll do good things in a game. I mostly only do bad things in a game if I have a bad thing choice. Mm-hmm. And so, especially in games like that where I get choices to do bad things, I'm like, yeah, this exploring's fine, but I need another nuke that's in a town that I can turn on and blow up a whole town. Like, I need that. Why hasn't that happened again? Like, I need another Megaton that I can blow up a whole town. And so if that hasn't happened in a while, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Yeah. And I'm also playing like 4 other... And the other thing is I like sports games when the season comes around. So, like, I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm really interested in... Oh, there's the interesting UFC fight. I'm going to play UFC for 3 weeks straight. Like, I went through the whole career mode. I built a guy from nothing to world champion in, like, 2 weeks. I just played the shit out of it. I haven't touched that now in, like, months. And sometimes I'll scroll past it and I'll be like, oh, yeah, UFC. And I'm like, I'm not in the mood. And when I go back to play it again, I'm going to do it again. I'm probably going to do a female fighter because I wanted to. I'm going to build a female fighter from scratch to a champion in like 4 days, and I ain't going to touch that shit again.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, gaming is fun. But you know what? I just always enjoy it. I'm happy to just be playing a game, and I've just understand at this point that my brain just goes, all right, you've played that for about 2 weeks. Time to do something else. Got to do something else. Just got to.
I just can't imagine. After 2 weeks, I'm like, I got to find out what's happening.
Yeah.
And especially if it's a game that I really enjoy.
Sure.
I obsess over it, where I'm like, I should call in a sick day and just play games all day.
Yeah.
And so I can't imagine just being like, oh, I've played this for 40 hours. I've got 40 more to go. Let me just stop.
Yep. The more I like it, the more I play it initially, so the less I want to play it later.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I cannot tell you how many times I've wanted to fire Red Dead 2 back up because I've wanted to get Red Dead 2 is tricky because it distracts me too much. I'm like, oh, let me do this great hunt. Oh, let me fish for a while. And then I'm like, okay, I've played as much of this game I want to play. I'm like, boy, I'd really like to get through the story, but I've already wasted my time. I've wasted my gaming session on Red Dead in fishing and hunting. Got to shut it down.
Well, that's like me in Burning Shores, that I got to where I could actually go explore, and I just went exploring, and I didn't do anything for 3 days. Yeah. I just looked around and found the things that I could kill, and I finally got to a point where I was like, well, I've looked around enough. I can't progress any further onto the map because of something blocking whatever.
Right.
So it's like, let me just go do a little bit of the story so that I can progress, and then it opened up more stuff, and I just started exploring again.
Yeah. But see, that is where we're similar, like Ghost in Tsushima. I haven't even talked to the girl again. Like, you know what, when you talk to her at first and she's like, you got to save my brother. And so then you split up and you got to meet her to get the blacksmith, to get to the blacksmith.
Yeah, that kind of sounds familiar. It's been a while since I've played.
It's right at the beginning. It's basically like you guys, she finds you, you sneak out of the village, you get to a certain point, and then she goes, okay.
Oh, the very first village?
At the very first village. You sneak out, and so then she goes, okay, you meet me here. The blacksmith can help us do what you need to.
Yeah, right? I do remember
I have
that.
probably played 12 hours from that point forward and not progressed the main story at all. All I've done is run around and side quest, and I found like 12 fox dens.
Oh hell yeah, I love the foxes.
And I've done I've done the slash through I've done like 6 of those.
I didn't love those.
Yeah, I just found them.
I did them all, but I didn't enjoy those.
Like once they gave me the traveler's outfit, and they're like, oh yeah, it'll just show you all these random things. You know, you can do the wind and it takes you to the fox den, and you can do so then I just run around, which is great, but like I say, then I use my gaming time, the time I'm going to play it. I'm like, okay, I just ran around I've not progressed the initial story at all past the 1 hour period, and I've played for 10 hours, and then I just turn it off, and then I go, oh man, I should probably play the story. Sometimes I tell myself, like, Garrett, you cannot do any side quests. Like, if you're going to beat this game, you have to just do the main quest. Just do it.
You can do all the side. I did all of them.
No, I can't do it. I can't do all the side quests because I'm not going to beat the game. I'm going to do a third of the side quest, and I'm not going to look at the game again for a year. Like, I'm just like, Garrett, sometimes if you're going to beat it, you just have to spend your side quest time and just do main story A to Z, or you're never going to beat the game.
But the side quests in that game are so fun.
I know. And I've enjoyed the side quest. And not only have I enjoyed the side quest, the places that it takes you in the game, just like the vistas and areas that it takes you, killer. And look, guys, I got a machine. I've spent, when I sold my house, only the good money got spent on my machine in my house. So I got that son of a bitch cranked. I also want to point this out. The episode's almost over. I'm sorry. I just want you guys to know that when I'm talking to you and not to Casey, I talk to the recorder. I turn and look at the recorder and talk to it. So I want you guys to know I'm looking you in the eyes when I say stuff to you. Just FYI.
And I can confirm that is in fact true.
Anyway, this Coors Light's got me crunk. So, anything else you're playing? Anything else notable that you? I mean, like I say, you covered your 3 games.
I only play one game at a time.
I know.
Like, my game was done when I talked about it.
What is it? One game that you're looking forward to that's coming up?
I don't remember what's coming up.
All right, it's fine. If it's not off the top of your head, it's not. College Football 25 was the game. I could do a whole podcast episode on that game, but I probably will just do that one by myself because that'll be
Well, we
crazy.
could do that in when college football's happening too.
Yeah, when college football starts. Yeah. Also, I got a college football podcast. I can just talk about it.
That's true too. I don't know how much our audience watches college football, but I would talk about it. We could make that a double feature. We could do a college football episode followed by college football video game episode.
We have enjoyed college football together, so that is something definitely
That's
we
true.
can talk about.
We did watch Michigan become the champions last year.
We watched the World Championship. Michigan Wolverines, go blue.
The World Championship.
That's right. World champions. Look, we're in America. We get to call all of our American championships World Championships.
Because we are the world.
USA.
Especially this year, 2024, motherfuckers.
2024.
Olympics time.
Oh, shit. Oh, we got to talk about the Olympics.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. You know what?
Next episode.
Doesn't Melissa really like the Olympics?
Maybe.
Somebody we know likes the Olympics.
Because we do want her to be a guest star at some point.
Yeah, Melissa's going to be on the show. Don't you worry. And we're going to get Karen back, too, because Karen amuses me, so that's got to happen. This is all stuff you guys don't need to hear us talk about, but we are anyway.
We might cut this.
I might.
We might not. Garrett just does whatever he wants.
I do what the fuck I... Hey, thanks for listening to our landmark 10th episode.
Woo!
And come back for more. Bye.
Bye.